My name is Lexi and I'm going to give my presentation on sex workers' rights and their effect on the economy. To start off, I selected my article. Its name was Sex Workers' Rights Are Just Workers' Rights, and it was by Mike Konzowski. And I chose this topic because it's something you don't really hear about in everyday life. People kind of avoid this topic, and I hadn't realized that movements were going on all around the world in support of sex workers' rights. I didn't know that they were moving to try to make their profession legalized and supported and safer. And I think it's really significant in this time because we're trying to pass all of these other sorts of things, like they want to legalize marijuana, they legalized gay marriage. Why not legalize the oldest profession in the world? In summary, my article focused on three main points that should be used when considering creating sex workers' rights. The first point would be if your proposal for what to do about sex workers' rights involves more policing, you're not headed in the right direction. And when they were in this section, they spoke about how by making prostitution illegal, they left the governing of prostitution to the police. And this has caused a lot of problems for sex workers and their safety. For instance, there is an ordinance in many cities all over the country that states if a woman is carrying a condom, she can be arrested for loitering to commit prostitution. So that's led many prostitutes from carrying condoms when doing their work. So it's promoting the spread of STIs and making it much more dangerous. In their second thing, they proposed about better policing. When talking about this subject, they spoke about how many other cities, they're trying to put in policies and campaigns that instead of targeting sex workers themselves, they target people that hire sex workers, such as pimps. And by doing this, in theory, it was a good idea, but the results led to more prostitutes being arrested and being prosecuted, and only very, very few men to actually be committed to have committed this crime. They don't have any proof. In their third one, they led to the main topic of their article, which is that understanding sex work as work can help the debate on it. Sex workers are just workers. They're people trying to make a living, trying to support themselves. They are human and they deserve human rights. Currently, they are abused by the police. They are afraid to go to the police when they're abused by their employers, such as pimps, and by the people that hire them. They don't want to go to the police because they're afraid they're going to get arrested for what's happening to them. And so that leads many of them to endanger themselves, to become injured, and to end up dead. And this article talks about how we could take these different things and put them together and try to create a way that is better, that can help these people and make a profit. Now, currently in the US, prostitution is illegal everywhere but in Nevada. Leave it to Nevada. They can make money off of anything. Currently in Nevada, there are 24 licensed brothels, all of them safe and making a lot of money. They require prostitutes to be checked regularly for STIs so they don't spread diseases. They can only be created in counties with populations less than 400,000, which helps because I don't actually know why they made that rule. Probably because they didn't want everybody being around a brothel. And they also require sex workers to have a license, which makes it so they can keep track of who's actually getting income from this so they can actually tax them on it, which is how I got all these numbers. The economic significance is currently the US invests $11.4 million a year trying to stop prostitution. And it is not working. And so every year they are wasting more and more of our taxpayers' dollars on trying to stop something that is it's going to continue to happen probably for the rest of our lives. So in Nevada, based off the tax reports of prostitutes, they have discovered that one prostitute can make approximately $100,000 a year by only working 1 week out of every month. So that's 12 weeks, they make $100,000. based off of current tax rates, they could make money off, they could make $20,000 off of each prostitute a year based off of our current income taxes, which they're not doing. It is estimated in the United States that over 1 million women have actually committed prostitution. They've worked in sex work. So if they require that all those women got a license and reported on that income that they made from their prostitution, the government could stand to make $20 billion a year. That's $20 billion of revenue that we do not have, and that's 11.4 million that we're wasting. And since we're $1 trillion, more than $1 trillion in debt, that 20 billion could probably be really helpful. In conclusion, I learned a lot about this because I didn't know anything when I started, and that's what made me really interested. I learned about the plights of sex workers, and I learned about how they're trying their best to try to make this profession legal, because this is all that they have. They're making money the best way that they can, and they shouldn't be penalized for something like that. They shouldn't be called villains because they're trying to make a living and support themselves. Now, I'm left with a lot of unanswered questions, but the main ones were, will the government ever legalize it? Because they did in Nevada, but they haven't really shown any reason why they would do it anywhere else. And they haven't really talked about how, if they were to, how they might go about legalizing it and what rights they would probably make. So they could base it off the Nevada plan about how they have it in 400,000 populations in every county, or they couldn't. They could go off of other countries that have also legalized it and base it off of those policies, but we probably won't know for quite a few more years. Those are my references.